So going back to this politics of beauty, um, I don't fit the typical beauty standard of what the media portrays, at least not in this country. Now I'm seeing more adverts with black women and especially dark skinned women who look like me, but I'm still not on everyone's radar what beauty is. So can you tell me what it means to be beautiful?
The person have to be tall.
Has to be tall.
Has to be tall.
Has to be tall.
Tall.
Okay.
Yeah. And some kind of marks of European heritage, like whiteness.
Okay.
You know, something like.
So features.
Mhm.
Features of Europeanness. Okay.
Skinny.
Skinny. Okay.
Yeah, curly hairs.
Okay. Okay. It's still very vague.
Very about body. You know, it's about body. Being beautiful in Brazil is about body. Sometimes people are not thinking about what they're doing. You know, if I have dreams, if you're building things in your life, or creating things. So being beautiful in Brazil is all about body. What do you do to be perfect body? You know. So people don't think anything else. It's just body.
Because I'm finding this. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words right because I did an interview with a model who, well, she calls herself a fat model, but she's considered very beautiful, but she's not skinny, and people do see her as beautiful.
It's the face because of the face.
Okay, because you said it's about body, so I'm just trying to understand when does it become
body,
more about
body means
face?
like face and all the body. Like, you know, not only body. This body acts like sexuality.
Okay.
But also face. For example, fat bodies. People in Brazil used to say to them, "Oh, you are so beautiful on your face," and the people say in front of you.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
It's common.
Okay.
They reinforce the idea about, okay, it's only your face, your body is not beautiful.
Right. Okay. So tall. That's funny because I thought, if anything, tall is intimidating. I find a lot of men, and particularly Brazilian men, have this issue if you're tall, and so I'm finding that part hard to digest. And you're saying European features. Okay.
You don't see anything in your face, like, I don't know. I mean, not talking about European, but it's like it's a skinny face. They like that. That's the idea.
All right. Okay. Okay. Each to their own, and then body being skinny. Right. Okay. That's interesting because I don't feel that I fit all of those. How I was saying, because I answered some questions for Cintia earlier. For me, beauty is about confidence. And throughout my whole 20s, I really worked on my confidence because I grew up not considering myself to be beautiful. I had an older sister who was a lot lighter skinned than me, and she also happened to have a great personality. So everyone gravitated towards her, and I was often left behind. And I thought it was because of my skin color. Her being beautiful and great personality and light skin, that's why people went to them. And it was only throughout my late teens, 18, 19, 20, that I really started to work on my confidence. So when I'm considered beautiful, I think a lot of it is to do with my confidence and just being comfortable in who I am and what I am. But I still feel that society has a long way before it learns to appreciate the kind of beauty that I hold, particularly my skin. And I was also saying in our other conversation that there's also different levels of beauty. There's a type of beauty where you see this art piece and you know it's vintage, so you respect it and you do what the sign says and you don't touch it. You just appreciate it from the distance. And it is also the other type of beauty where you feel you have some authority to own it, to touch it. I don't want to be in that section. And that's what often, because of this, the attention I tend to have. Men coming in my space, thinking they can talk to me anyhow, thinking they can even just touch. It can even just be that they hold my arm. Don't come in my space. Respect. If you respect me and you're calling me beautiful, give me my personal space. And I don't get that. So when people say, "Oh, Kai, you're beautiful," or you've been saying to me, "Oh, Kai, you know you're beautiful," which level of beauty am I? Because to be beautiful is not enough. I want the respect that comes with it. The respect that comes with it is so important, and I think this is more than being. This means more to me than being called beautiful. What were some of the other things that we spoke about?
About the countries, that thing everywhere we go is the same. Like it's not,
Yeah,
because I thought it was only Brazil.
it's not just in Brazil, and I was saying that throughout the whole world there is this sense of colorism, because let's face it, colorism was derived from colonialism, and colonialism happened because white people thought it was okay to go to the global south and divide and conquer. And so and the ironic thing is that a lot of them are unaware of it, unaware of colorism, yet it was created by them. And so when you try to explain it to them, it's like they become defensive. Like, well, it's not a thing that we it's not racism, so they feel that they're not part of the equation, and then they feel like it's something that we have to deal with. You know, the black community has to deal with it. And in a sense, I do agree that it is something that the black community needs to deal with, because we still have issues where you have a lighter skinned person saying some team light skin or team dark skin. I think even the team dark skin is allowed, because often, even today, people still look down on dark skinned people. So if you have a team dark skin that's trying to uplift themselves, it's not saying light skin isn't beautiful. It's just saying we're trying to lift ourselves up from the gutter, you know? And so I think that groups that are most marginalized are allowed to do what it takes by any means necessary to lift themselves up, as long as it doesn't bring down any other groups. And a lot of times, because of the power um, imbalance, they don't even have the power to bring down the beauty standard of being light skin or being white anyway. And people are so afraid of that, and so they're like, oh, or this team dark skin, you know, they try to shut it down. Anyway, I digress slightly. Talking about colorism in different parts of the world, or my experiences, and I was just saying, it's not just in Brazil that I've had this. It's been, I mean, Argentina, for example. My experience there 6 years ago, it frightened me so much. I'm not in a hurry to go back to Argentina. Buenos Aires is meant to be the Europe of South America, and yet the moment that, when I was with my friend, it was fine. I didn't notice all these things, but the moment that I was by myself, I noticed all the cat calling, chocolate, da da da, and I'm thinking, whoa, am I in? This is meant to be the Europe of South America. They pride themselves of being, you know, civilized, yet they were acting so primitive. And I even had one guy come up to me and put a condom to my face. This is what I mean by the respect, you know? You respect someone, you don't do that to them. You think that person is cheap and easy, you do that. And so unfortunately, this skin, because of what colorism is, it means that a lot of darker skinned people are often being neglected, and because of that, they often lack self-confidence. And usually when you lack self-confidence and self-esteem, you compensate for it through other means. And for some people, it could be through sex, wanting attention, male attention through sex, making themselves open and easily available to have that sort of someone liking me. And for me, I'm the opposite. Like, I don't like that sexual attention at all. I don't like being fetishized. I don't like someone not. So and I see it so much, and it becomes very annoying, you know? It becomes very annoying. I'm just, yeah. And so it can be hard traveling and being woke to all these things and trying to ignore it. And sometimes I do call it out, but other times it just is so exhausting that. And then when you call it out and you try to explain about it and people don't understand, and then it's like you're the angry black girl.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And some things I just don't bother even trying to explain too much about. So, but yeah, no, it's been really interesting being with Cintia in Rio, especially, and because every time we're walking down the street and she said, "See, that person said something, you know, they said, wow, she's beautiful," and I'm like, it doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything that these men even want to sleep with me. I don't want to sleep with them. That's the difference. If my Prince Charming came, and then yes, okay, now we're talking. But it's these old men. It's old men. You know, I can laugh at it because it's funny, but then he ain't gonna marry me. I don't even want to marry him. So yeah, but thank you, Brazilian society, for finding me attractive. I just hope that they apply the same thing to other dark-skinned Brazilian women, because it's no good just giving one, you know, a opening the door for one. I wanted them to be open-minded about beauty for all black women, especially the darker skinned ones, and especially removing those connotations that come with being dark skinned. She must be poor, she must be needy, she might be from the favela, therefore she needs money. If she needs money, easy money is sex. All these things that hinder our progression in society, especially as dark skinned people, especially as black women. Please get rid of these. We need to get rid of these from our heads. On the next episode of Travelmaker Kai Talks.
Always when we're walking down the street, normally, men, especially men, at least 5 per day, coming towards me and asking me, is she your girlfriend? Wow, is she your girlfriend? It like 5 times per day people use it.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Travelmaker Kai Talks, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.